today some questions in connection with job search and manifesting your ideal job came to my mind because I'm searching for a job, and I want to record them and share them because I think that they will be very valuable for other people that may be undergoing a similar job search. There are different approaches to job searching. Ever since I have been a student and even a young girl, I listened to the advice of my dad and my mom. And my dad has told me never to compare myself with others and not to think about the competition, but to focus on myself, my strengths, what do I want, to do my best without stress, and to be happy, and to trust in the goodness of the universe, and to trust in people. And so, when starting out my professional career, these are the principles that I have been adhering to, although sometimes I get lost. And when I was a PhD student, I went to a conference, a meeting of the European Federation of the Immunological Societies in Edinburgh, Scotland. It was an autoimmunity, T cells and B cells. And my advisor told me when you go to a meeting, you have to try to meet people, to talk with them, and to network. But in principle, I was painfully shy. Now I'm overcoming this. And I listened to a wonderful lecture of Dr. Don Holmberg on autoimmunity and immunoglobulin heavy chain V region selection. And I thought that this is very much connected to my studies, how monoclonal antibodies can induce autoimmunity. And since Don was very calm and spoke clearly, I thought he would be a great person to work for because he's very calm. And in my opinion, this is important in a supervisor. And I wanted to talk with him, but being so painfully shy, I just thought I might not say everything I want to, or I might say something stupid, and that would preclude my chances to work for him. And so I hesitated and hesitated, but took the path of least resistance and did not talk with Don at the meeting in Edinburgh. And when I came back to Sofia, Bulgaria, my supervisor said, "How can you be so stupid? People go to meetings to meet others." And I thought, if it's meant to be for me to work in the lab of Dr. Don Holmberg, I will. I will write him a letter from Bulgaria. And so I wrote Don a letter explaining my interest in his research in his lab, that I listened to his interesting talk. Does he have a position for a scientist in his lab? That would be postdoctoral for me. And when you think Sweden, Umeå is such a famous university, the competition must be very big. And I'm just a young PhD student from Bulgaria in her 20s with unknown references. But I really thought this is an exciting area. I like the way Don presented the studies, and I was very much excited to work for him. And he replied that I can visit and then maybe see about funding. And I asked my dad to sponsor my trip, and I went to Umeå, Sweden, visiting the lab of Dr. Don Holmberg for 1 week. They were kind enough, all of the people in his lab, to introduce me to their research. They were a very nice group. Don and his then girlfriend Monica took me out to dinner with the whole lab, and I applied for funding from the Swedish Cancer Society or some funding source that Don recommended, but I did not get the funding. And I settled, although I was disappointed, that I will not go to Sweden. And previously I have described how one night I dreamt of Don. I phoned him and he said, "Oh, we are trying to reach you, Genevieve. My colleague Inger has funding and she would like you to work for her." And I was very happy. Inger was such a nice supervisor. She met me at the airport in Stockholm, Arlanda Airport, without knowing me, took me to her house. Her boyfriend Sven had cooked a delicious dinner. She had found a place for me to live in a lady who works in clinical immunology. She had a house, Lilbritt, with a daughter, Linda, and it was a wonderful experience. 1 year working as a postdoc with Inger, 9 months at the Karolinska Institute, Department of Clinical Immunology, which was even better than I envisioned, and 3 months with Don Holmberg's lab in Umeå, collecting biological specimens from normal human individuals, which we will study in the lab for immunoglobulin heavy chain V region gene expression. And I thought, how did this happen? And I had a paper, first author paper resulting from these studies, and they went very well, and I had very good teacher Kaisa and Inger, and everyone was so nice, and it was like magic. Everything was wonderful. And then I thought that besides that I really wanted to go to Sweden, is in high school I had seen the movie ABBA 8 times. I loved it so much. I loved the music, I loved the group, and then I thought, could this have sparked something in my heart about Swedish people and Sweden? And yesterday I read a paper that the hearts of people connect through a magnetic field all over the world. There is such a science study. I will include it in the description. Could it be that my love of Sweden started with the movie ABBA, and then when I heard the lecture of Don, I connected with my heart, and this is why I dreamed of him one evening, and hadn't I called, I wouldn't get the fellowship and I wouldn't work in Sweden. And I took the path of least resistance. I didn't talk to him because I was shy, but still connecting through my heart. When I wrote the letter, even though he didn't know me, he invited me, and everything worked out perfectly. So it gets a little bit confusing. My conclusions are that you don't have to apply to many jobs, something also my dad advised, but to apply to a few jobs that you really connect with your heart to, something that you really want to do. Maybe it's in a place that your heart is connected to. It's with positive emotions. And then it will be easier to get the job. But if you just send out many resumes, you don't hear back because there is no connection. And just like you don't connect, the people that are reading your resume don't connect. I know it's confusing, but to me it makes sense thinking back how I have gotten my other jobs. There was always some really strong connection. So this is my advice. Better to spend time thinking what really excites your heart, what you want to do, and then just hope for the best. And you will meet wonderful people on the way, just like I didn't know anyone from Sweden, but I trusted them and they were very kind. Thank you and good luck on your job search.